You probably already know wealth is a spiritual battle. It literally is an exchange of giving and receiving. And a lot of us are in this open loop or closed loop, should I say, of trading time for money, which is the rat race, or having a business that doesn't print income, that doesn't bring sustainable income at all. And in this video, I'm going to share a story to where I learned the three shifts in order for me to accumulate wealth online without seeing people in person, without paid ads, without going viral. And I made hundreds of thousands. And I'm going to show you right now, sharing my screen. I'm not going to do any fancy edits in this video. I want to be completely raw. By the way, let me know in the comment section if you like my uncut videos. So here we go. Some testimonials right there. I've made thousands and thousands of dollars online. This is just one of my Stripe accounts. You can see it says Jay Askew at the top. Awesome. Okay, so now that you know I'm telling you the truth, here's the story that changed it all for me. I'm going to keep it real short, sweet, and simple. About 5-6 years ago, it was around the pandemic time where I was out of work and everybody was stuck at home. So one day, my cousin had called me, "Hey, Jay, I want you to come over. We got some girls, we got some friends, we can chill out, go to a resort, have some fun." And I'm like, well, why not? At the time, I was door dashing, literally destroying my car in order to hold a couple dollars. So, long story short, I told him, I'm in. We get to the resort. We already pay for the room online. And they say, well, there's a damage fee. And I'm like, what's that? And they were like, well, if you damage the room, then we take the fee. But you have to prepay for the fee before you end up paying for it if there are damages, just for like a safety net, kind of like insurance, right? So I'm like, okay, cool, whatever. Here's my card. I use my DoorDash card. And guess what they tell me? Sir, we can't use this. This is prepaid. I didn't know that. They actually wanted a real bank that was existent in the real world. Okay, not something that was just online from a bank account that you created from a prepaid debit card. And being the entrepreneur that I am, I'm like, well, we got a few girls here. We got my cousin here, and he already paid for the room, and I'm about to pay for the deposit. Well, how about I just ask one of the girls to use her card, and I'll pay her cash right now on the spot. So I go to the ATM, swipe my prepaid DoorDash card, give her the cash. She uses her card at the front of the resort for the deposit, for just in case there's damages. And they tell us, well, thank you. And if the room isn't damaged and it's still intact by the time your reservation is over with, we'll refund you the $400. And I'm like, okay, cool. So she's going to get the $400 back on her card. And somehow, some way, she's going to send me back the $400. Now, mind you, I knew this girl maybe from seeing her one or two times, right? Because it like a high school friend of my cousin. So anyways, I didn't have any suspicions. I was like, there should be no reason why she wouldn't give my money back, right? Because she knows me. She knows my cousin for a long time. Well, guess what happened? Yeah, I didn't get it back. So I'm over here a week and a half later calling the resort. I'm like, did you ever like refund the money to her card? And they were like, yeah, we got the invoice. Like we returned it. And I was like, okay, well, why is she telling me she didn't get it? Well, they can't speak for her. Only she can. Okay. If they say they gave the money back, they gave the money back, or somebody has my money. You know what I'm saying? So I get really, really anxious. I'm like, man, I just spent my last dollar. I had $400 to my name. I don't think you know how serious this was. I had $400 to my name from DoorDash. That means I had $0. I was zeroed out. So all these thoughts start coming through my head. What could I have done with the $400? Why did I decide to spend it on fun? Why did I trust her? I started beating myself up, right? And it wasn't until I came up with another brilliant idea of saying, my other cousin's a lawyer, so give me my $400 back. She got scared enough via text message, okay, and sent the money back. But what happened next isn't what you think is going to happen. The same day I got the money, I gave it away again. I actually decided to do research in that little time span of me not receiving my money from, her name is Ashley, by the way, from Ashley. I had regrets. I knew I could have used the money in a better way besides fun, because I felt the sense of loss. I felt the sense of regret. And so I decided to join a mentorship. You know what? I just got my $400 back. I just got the feeling of losing the $400. I might as well bet on myself. And worst case scenario, I invest in a mentorship that teaches me how to make money online as a fitness coach at the time. And if I don't make money, I already kind of lost my $400, right? That's the worst that can happen. The best thing that can happen is I make $401, a dollar profit, right? So I invested that same day I got my $400 back. Lie to you not, within 4 weeks, I earned $700. I got my $400 back and I got another $300. And then the second month I made like $1,300, $1,400. And then the third month I made like $2,700 consistently for 3 months. Now, while I was going through that period of feeling the loss of $400 and investing into myself, taking the leap of faith, earning more money than I invested because I learned a profitable skill, online business, I never thought that I'd be telling you that story right now. And with that story, there are 3 main shifts that I recognize that you need to as well. And I know you're not in the same scenario as I was 4 to 5 to 6 years ago. You're not at a resort right now. You're probably not on your last dollar. You're probably a hardworking individual, both on your business or at a 9 to 5. And you're wondering, what are the shifts that you need to make in order for you to attain wealth online by giving away value? The first thing that I want to mention is shift number 1, which is things don't happen to you. They happen because of you. All right. Things don't happen to you. They happen because of you. Let me explain. Ashley, the girl who didn't give me back my money until I had to threaten her. Okay. When she wasn't giving me back my money, it was not because she took it from me. It's because I allowed it to happen. So she wasn't taking from me, and me being in the situation that I was in, I couldn't look at myself and be like, well, it happened to me. No, it happened because of me. I'm the one who ended up being distracted, saying, hey, I'm going to go out with my cousin. First of all, right? Love my cousin, but it was a distraction. I had to focus at the time. I was broke. So I shouldn't have said yes to going out. And then I shouldn't have said, yes, I'll cover the $400. And I shouldn't have trusted her. But at the end of the day, it didn't happen to me. It happened because of me, because of my choices. And so that shift alone led me to believing that, well, if things happen because of me, then I can essentially control the things that happen to me in a good way. And yes, things that are negative can happen to us. But the main point is, if you want to build wealth, if you want to win your own war with wealth, your own battle with wealth, you have to ask yourself the question, what can I control that can give me the outcome that I want? And that leads me to shift number 2, which is weakness can be your strength. I know you heard it a million times, but you haven't heard it this way. Okay. I always thought this story would be negative. I'm looking down at my notes, by the way. I always thought the story would be negative. I always thought that whenever I talk about it, it's going to be some type of regretful story. Oh yeah, let me tell you about the time I got scammed for $400 and I got it back, but it was very scary. I always thought it was going to be a negative story, but what ended up happening was, after I was out of the situation, I had a sense of clarity because I made a correct decision, right? I reinvested into myself. And what I ended up doing was focusing on what I struggled with and turning that into a knowledge point, right? So I focused on what I was struggling and why I was struggling on having money. And I decided to make that something that counted for my future. The reason why I say this or even mention this part is because there's been so many times where you've been in a situation that was undesirable for you until you learned how to do something the right way, until you had an experience that changed the way you thought. And then now that has knowledge, that has experience. Like, people don't want to go through that in order to learn a lesson. Nobody wants to go through pain to learn a lesson, even though we can't avoid all of the pain that we're going to experience through life. But if someone can avoid a pain because you went through a struggle, then they will be happy to pay you. Long story short. Okay. Here's a little side note. When I was an online fitness coach, my pain from working out and getting good results in fitness and being in shape was from the pain I had with being bullied in middle school and high school. Like, I was 110 pounds. I was very skinny. I was like 5'6", right? 110 pounds in high school, 18, 19 years old. Like, that's crazy to think about it now. I'm almost 200 pounds now, but it's just crazy to think that pain, the bullying, the emotional turmoil that I had, right? I'm not crying this app story, but I'm just saying your experiences and my experiences to where we deal with pain and come out victorious. That is what people want to go through as well, but they don't want to go through the pain. They want to have transformation for a better outcome, which is one of the reasons why you're watching this video, because you want to build wealth, right? You want to make money online. You want to have a successful business. You don't want to always have to trade your time for money. Shift number 3, which is the final shift, all right, is the biggest expense you'll ever have is distraction. I don't care how much money you lose. I don't care if it's $400,000 versus $400, which was my situation. You see, the thing I had to realize is I wanted to have fun with friends. All right. Now, everybody has had to have some sort of discipline in their life, whether they forced it or whether it was implied on them because you procrastinated, right? But here's the thing. If you change your identity on who you are in the moment, you won't have to have that expense of being distracted. Let me give you a clear example. Being distracted means you're watching sports. Being distracted means you're watching constant YouTube videos that don't push you forward, and you're in a loop of learning, and you're still not making money or making more money than you are right now. Being distracted means that you're talking on the phone with friends. Being distracted means that when you do get off, if you are binge watching Netflix, or if you are doing things that take you away from putting in coins in the piggy bank for your financial future with creating wealth, if it does not help you earn money, why are you focusing on that right now? And I get it. Not everything that you can do, not everything we do makes us money, like sitting on the toilet or brushing our teeth. But let's be clear. You're probably having a lot more access to time than you think. And so I had to recognize that me going out with my friends wasn't a bad thing. It was just a bad sequence. I need to get done what I needed to get done long before I hung out. And so you can have your expense become something that rewards you if you do the work before you go out and become distracted. You should be able to choose to be distracted, not fall into it. Doom scrolling on Instagram, binge watching YouTube. Okay, just learning. Like if you're like me, you love learning. But at a certain point, you have to produce more than you create. You have to produce more than you consume. Okay. And so with that being said, that is exactly why I have my very own new one-on-one challenge, which I'm going to show you guys right now, because this is awesome. Let me show you how this works, right? At the end of the day, we're entrepreneurs at heart. Okay. Now, as I share my screen, I want you to understand that this one-on-one challenge is something nobody else is doing. Everybody else does group coaching or have a group community where they charge a monthly fee. What I'm doing is teaching you how to turn a single view into a high-ticket sale in just 5 days. And it's a one-on-one challenge. You and me on a Zoom call for 5 days, all right? 45 minutes a piece. And you literally get to build your business, your income, your YouTube, your strategy off of my knowledge that I've had over the past 6 years making money online. All right. You're going to be able to build wealth. Now, this isn't for everyone. All right. And there is a fee, but the fee is completely refundable as soon as you show up to the challenge on the last day. So it's no risk at all. But this is something new that I'm testing out. If you want to join and you want to book your spot for the next 5 days on your own time, then make sure that you click the link in the description down below for my one-on-one challenge on how to turn a single view into a high ticket sale in 5 days. So you can have wealth, so you can turn your knowledge into income or expand your business or have the systems ran up. So have the correct systems in your business that help you earn money. All right. But with that being said, I'm going to stop the video right here. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know if you like hearing personal stories from me as well, and I'll continue making them as well. All right. That's it. That's all. I'm out. Peace.